Week 2 coming at ya. First things first, we're gonna go right into the tip of the week, which is food prepping, plan your meals. Last week we talked about making a food plan, how you could write that out for yourself, or you could get some online program. Either way, make a plan. I've got that 12-week plan. Then this week I executed lunches, meal prepped them out. Check it out. Tip of the week this week is meal prep. So we are in the kitchen. We're gonna show you a quick little meal. It's gonna last me for my lunches throughout the week. I can freeze a couple, I can have a couple in the fridge, warm them up in a nice glass plate or bowl, and it's good stuff. First, we're starting off with some nice grass-fed ground beef, 95% fat beef from New Seasons. That is a organic / natural food market here in the Pacific Northwest. Hard to find, so when you find it, get as many 1-pound packs as you can. We stock them up in the freezer because these are just so clutch week to week. I've got some pre-chopped yams, over 1,000 grams of raw yams. I'm gonna break this up into 6 different meals. It's gonna be about 200-ish grams of yams per meal. Sweet onion for the flavor. Of course, gotta hit up the Whole Foods because they are doing the chopping for us and we really appreciate that. Makes it really quick. Brussels sprouts, pre-chopped, pre-prepped, plain white mushrooms. So we're gonna put the onion and the mushrooms in the beef. Brussels sprouts are gonna be the veg, yam's gonna be the carb on the side. Last but not least, our go-to oil, avocado oil spray. I'll be coating the pans with this. I'll put a little bit more on the yams just to make them oily-ish. This stuff is some of the best, really good at high heat. Get this one at Costco. It comes in a 2-pack. Really good deal on this. If you find them other places, they are way super expensive. Costco for the win on this one. Starting off first, these yams are going in the warmed up pan. I don't want to turn the oven on today because it's a hot day. They're just going on the stove top, just gonna saute them up a little bit. Yams are going over here. Onions are getting sauteed right here. I got the beef defrosting in the microwave right here before I put it in with the onions. So once the onions are sauteed up, we'll get that beef in. We'll have the mushrooms going on the back burner here, and then we'll toss the mushrooms into the beef and onion to make it tasty. Because I gotta have some flavor with my lunches, otherwise it just feels drab and dry and awful. Onions and mushrooms usually do the trick for a meal like this for me. If I'm doing some basic chicken or ground chicken, it's all about the sauce, baby. Onions aren't quite browned yet, but that's what we're looking for. Just some nice sauteed browned onions. These mushrooms are really big. I probably should have chopped them before I put them in the pan, but I didn't, so I'm gonna give them a little spatula, chop, chop, chop. Woo! Meal prepping is rewarding. This will give me 6 meals this week at lunch. I am elated to literally just warm it up each day, have the macros lined out just by doing this hour of food prep on the weekend. Woo! All right, that meat is now starting to cook in the pan with the onions. Mushrooms are heading in there next, a little bit more flavoring. I gotta show you, I'm not a professional when it comes to this. My mushrooms are completely burning. It's probably gonna set off the fire alarm, but just so you can see, I completely scorched the mushrooms. Whoops, too many things going on at one time. What are you gonna do? I guess we'll roll with it and we'll just have some really sauteed mushrooms in the lunch. So I'm gonna start plating some of this stuff. On a meal like this, I don't actually weigh out each individual meal because I just take a ballpark look at it. I start with the first number. So it was over 1,000 grams of yams, and I'll just split that up into 6 and put that number in for each week because I'm gonna eat all of these. It's gonna end up being the same. It's easier to input into my fitness pal that way, so I know what I'm having overall. Yams divided into 6. Here we go. Voila. Now we're gonna use this pan for the Brussels sprouts, but I'm gonna wash it out first. Magical, already chopped Brussels sprouts. I have chopped Brussels sprouts in the day. I just knew I was gonna have to chop the yams and the onion, the sweet onion. I didn't want to have to do the Brussels sprouts too. So I'm gonna add our avocado oil spray. Boom. Bin. Be grateful that it's already chopped. Oh yeah. Boom. Add the most magical seasoning in the world, Himalayan salt. Let that roll. I'm gonna check on the beef again because I added the scorched mushrooms. They were supposed to be sauteed mushrooms, but they are scorched mushrooms. Ooh, check it out, looking saucy. Finishing touches, got these Brussels sprouts in the pan. These ones, I'm not gonna let them scorch. They're gonna be a nice saute. It might fall on the floor though. Oh gosh. Okay, it's gonna be a nice saute. Final touches, got the Brussels sprouts done. Gonna add those to the top. This is the final meal prep. It actually looks really good and healthy. Check it out. Yams, Brussels sprouts, beef, onion, mushroom. Now here's the biggest trick of doing food prep like this. I said I made 6 meals Sunday. The 5 of those meals are gonna be for the week. This meal right here is gonna be for right now. So after you do food prep, enjoy what you made while it's hot and fresh. That's my tip of the week. Hope that was helpful for you. These are just some of the basic things we do. It's not over processed, literally day to day, how it gets done, just trying to show you behind the scenes of some of the things that it takes to create the longevity of weight loss, continuing to gain strength, being healthy and fit in your life. So I weighed in this week and I am down to 201. So I have lost 1.5 pounds in about a week. That first weigh-in came in during introduction week, was kind of week 0, so it was longer than just a week since the last weigh-in. Week to week, about 1.5 pounds, so that's pretty darn good. Just an initial drop there. I am definitely feeling the drop in calories. I'm at 2,000 this week. Hopefully you saw on the food prep what one basic meal looks like. That was actually a pretty high calorie meal for 2,000 calorie day. So we'll be making some adjustments along the way. How am I feeling? Dropping down to 2,000 calories after being at 2,500 to 2,700 for months. I am feeling it. My body and energy fatigue is definitely here. It's uncomfortable. That's the best way to put it, is that uncomfortable, but the discomfort is there for a purpose. And I know what that purpose is. And it's making this push into the 190s and the 180s and doing this 12-week fat loss phase and documenting it for all of you so that you can see what it's like, what it feels like. No frills, no fluff. This is just legit behind the scenes, what goes on day to day. I was gonna do this all anyway, so may as well just stick a camera on it so you can see what it's like. I don't think I've ever really talked about, though, the discomfort that comes with being in a calorie deficit and still needing to hit your workouts, do your strength training, be in your heart rate zone training. We will talk about all of that stuff later on in the 12 weeks. I think kind of just being honest that this is not always a comfortable process. Understanding that up front, one of the important parts of that is having a start date and having an end date. So you know that this discomfort is just gonna be for a certain amount of time. It's not forever that you have to do super hard workout or have to be in a calorie deficit. It is a certain amount of time. I can commit to that. I can understand as I'm going through the discomfort that this is for a reason. I've chosen this reason because I've made this goal for myself. I would like to get to this next zone. I think the most important thing is reminding reminding yourself and remembering that purpose and that goal for yourself. For me, it's just uncomfortable. I'm gonna hit my calories anyway, and these lulls of discomfort throughout the day are just moments that I try to take a breath and get really grounded in my body, just feel my body and appreciate all the things that it's doing for me. And I sometimes even go back to where I started. What did it feel like being 350 pounds? What sucked the most about that? It was hard to move around and things. I felt just so heavy all the time. My feet hurt from walking. I love to walk. I am so grateful that I get to walk and I don't have to carry 150, 175 pounds on my back. That is such a big difference. Bringing up those feelings and those reminders for myself, it's like, okay, I'm a little bit uncomfortable right now. And I've been through more discomfort than this. And this is for a purpose. This is a season. It will end. I know when it's ending. Just giving yourself that reminder. That's kind of like the best tip that I can give you of what it's like being in the process. So we'll see if any other stuff comes up, because next week I'll be down to 1900 calories and we'll be there for 2 weeks. And then the week after that, it'll be 18. We have some travel coming up in those lower calorie ranges. So that'll be really interesting to show you low calories, calorie deficit, on the road, doing functions, being involved with other people, and just being like, listen, I committed to this thing before this opportunity became available. And so, yep, I brought my own food, and it just is what it is. It kind of comes down to that. We'll hit that when we get to it. Be kind to yourself, friends, because this is not an easy thing to do. So if you're doing it, if you're thinking about doing it, be kind to yourself, make a plan, have a start date, have an end date, have a transition period, a maintenance period, all those things. Super helpful. Until next time, thanks for watching. We'll catch you then.